The world is full of wonders.
Magic is hidden in small moments.
And monsters could be hiding just out of sight.
But if you're looking to find them,
adventure is waiting to happen.
You never know who you'll meet along the way.
We are the Storyteller Squad.
Hello, adventurers. Welcome back to the Storyteller Squad. Thanks for joining us for more Monster of the Week. Before we begin, let's check in with our heroes.
The nightmare slap of frog feet is something I don't think even Kabe can save me from at this point, so I may as well lean into it. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, I'm Hugo Rashad.
That's a good one. That's really good. Thank you, Aday. Well, it wouldn't be a Storyteller Squad fight without a healthy dose of friendly fire. I'm Agent Whitaker, and Jesus Christ, Felicity, get your shit together.
honestly, at this point, we shouldn't even be surprised at the way things are going. Let's just get this fight over with. I'm Raven Eugenia.
I'm Damien Edgecrest.
I'm so glad that we're an audio medium. My God, the video on that was...
I was wondering what the fuck you were doing back there.
I saw him turn around and was like, uh-oh. I almost spit out my water. I should not have taken a drink. I should have known better.
Amazing. Most definitely not going to get my shit together. It's Felicity Steinbrück.
Damsel in distress? Not a great look for me. Battle partner? Fuck yeah. I'm Aiden Brightwood.
Wow!
Let's have an adventure. Last time, our heroes reached the culmination of the investigation into the missing persons case of Cassie Mayer. As a result of mysterious demonic presence originating from one of the dumpsters at the Winnebago County Fair, an enormous creature came forth and began to rampage through the Pecatonica Fairgrounds. A massive trash golem, which seemed intent on attacking the queen of the fair, Julie Winchester. As the general public fled the fairgrounds, our favorite monster hunters rushed into danger, hoping to prevent yet another local teen from being taken by this monstrosity. Unfortunately, whether it was the greasy fair food, the distracting and disorienting lights and sounds of the carnival rides, or just a case of some very bad luck, our heroes struggled against this monster. An enchantment from Damien went wrong, healing from Felicity backfired, and Aiden's divine armor failed her in a critical moment. Wounded and out of their usual rhythm, things looked grim for our heroes, but it seems hope might not be entirely lost. 3 new figures arrived on the scene, and among this most needed of cavalry was none other than Piper Maxwell, aka Max, aka Maxually, Raven's young friend and contact from the Watcher's Grimoire blog. Clad in a dark feathered cloak and sporting a strangely familiar magical tattoo, Max squares off against the monster, who spoke for the first time, addressing her as the Morrigan. These new allies could help our heroes turn the tide in this fight, but to find that out, we need to leap right back into the action. So, heroes, what do you do? The stunned and silent faces looking at me through Zoom are incredible, listeners.
Oh, I just like giving everyone else a chance to participate, because otherwise I always have shenanigans I like to get into.
Please.
Yeah, no, I give everyone else a chance before I break the game.
If we want to start with someone who's in the thick of it, Mr. Damien, Mr. Edgecrest, you are literally, quite literally, in the thickest of it.
Into the thick of it?
Into the thick of it?
We could check in with Damien. We hadn't seen much of him once he had dove into the body of this trash golem. So as the camera zooms past Max in her cloaked black cape, and right into the form of the trash creature, we open up onto a vast expanse of sweeping and rolling hills of garbage, like an endless landfill landscape. Dark thunderclouds in the sky that exists here. But seemingly, if you peer through them, you would see trash littering the top of the firmament, as if there is no end to the trash. It stretches up into the heavens like a perverse snow globe. And Damien, your little gloop head just sort of bloop, pops out from under a pile of discarded Coke cans and sandwich wrappers. And yeah, you are in this strange, for lack of a better term, pocket dimension.
So I was imagining being inside of a big trash pile. There's somewhat of an empty space inside that I can look around a little bit.
Yes, it's as if you are in rolling hills made of garbage. And more garbage seems to pour in from like spouts in the sky, but also be projected upward by geysers from the ground. Just garbage is flying through the air intermittently in this space, but it is a space and not so much a digestive tract or dense clutter pile that you're stuck in.
All right. So Damien's gonna begin to crawl forward and call out, Cassie! Other two bullies! Cassie!
Do you want to read a bad situation?
I think I've determined that it's a bad situation.
Yeah, you just haven't read it yet.
Yeah, we don't need to add anything. We'll keep it simple. 8.
Okay.
I think I'm already in.
Yep.
I think I need to ask, what's the best way to protect the victims?
Mm-hmm. So, this very abstract and liminal space that you're in, Damien, it feels familiar. Not perfectly familiar, but familiar enough. And when you call out, your voice rings in here as if you were shouting both from where you are, but also from very far away. And also off to the side, and also behind you. And you get a response back, this like echoing on this, not wind, it's sort of an emptiness here, but just a, help, help, somebody there, somebody there. And as you scan around with your red demonic eye surrounded by green gloop, you do see that the, for lack of a better term, the like ground plane of this place does undulate and move almost like a mix between liquid and solid. And you see a hand shoot out from the garbage, flailing for someone to grasp it, and a head poke out just above. And you can see the face of a young girl with freckles and sort of tawny blonde hair. She cries out anytime she surfaces, "Somebody! I'm over here!" And you can also make out the shouts, "Zane! Over here, Matt! Grab my hand!" You can hear the voice of the two other boys who've been eaten by this creature. And you see one of them hanging on to like a bit of rusted wire fence and reaching out with like a broken broom handle to another one as they sort of flow past almost in a trash river. So the kids are in here, and you figure you've got to get to them first before you'll have a chance of removing them from this predicament.
Damien finds a discarded bowl and a serving spoon, and he begins paddling through the trash because it's undulating like waves. Mm-hmm. And if there's some sort of bigger trash, I think he would, upgrade and find a pan that to hop into, and then get 2 spoons to...
Like in a rowboat?
Yeah, like a little rowboat. And then he realizes he can fly, so then he turns into a bird to get an overview of them so he can get a bit closer. And then if 2 of the teens are within 20 feet of each other, Damien's going to turn into a python or anaconda and try to become rope. I mean, not become rope, he's a snake, but try to wrap around on both ends to try to pull 2 or more of them to one spot.
Okay. This is a bit of a combination roll. First, I need you to... Oh, geez. First, manipulate someone, because you've turned into a snake in a trash void, and these kids are already very scared. How we do? Oh, good. A failure.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
All right, yeah, so you, as a bird, drop and dive back down into the trash, and then as, like, Matt grabs hold of the stick that Zane is extending out for him to grab onto, just this anaconda head, like, like appears out of the garbage. And he's just like, oh my god, dude, pull me in, there's a snake in here!
Oh no.
They are trying to get away from you. I think he probably kicks you in the face a couple times. So that attempt, I guess, is a failure at first. What do you do now?
No, it's unfortunately getting the three of these people together is the priority.
Mm-hmm.
So if this one kid's going to be kicking and screaming the whole time, that's going to make it rough. Damien is going to go over to Cassie, and instead of doing it as an anaconda, because he's learned a little bit of social skills that people are scared of snakes, he's going to turn into a hoop snake because he knows that those are beloved by all.
Okay.
Whoop, whoop.
He's going to start going whoop, 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 over to Cassie.
All right. Act under pressure to get to her, because she's much further out into the weird ocean/undulating fields of garbage.
So that was under pressure?
Mm-hmm. Because again, there's a bunch of detritus and like large pieces of trash just sort of floating by, and you kind of have to dodge them or they would sweep you under and away in these strange, unnatural currents.
Eat.
Okay. You can get to Cassie, Damien, but you're gonna watch the boys, like that fence that they're on, sort of sink under. So you'll have basically traded 2 for 1. You make it over to Cassie, and by the time you get there, when you like look back to see, okay, I'm close enough to this one now, let's try and get back, and you've lost the boys entirely. They've been consumed by the garbage waves as they go along. But yeah, she surfaces briefly, clinging to a dark black trash bag as it sort of bobs along, and you sort of slither up, making this odd hooping noise at her. Whoop, 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 whoop. Who are you? What are you doing in here?
My name is Mike Smith, and I'm here to rescue you.
Says the snake.
The little hoop snake is going to turn and reach towards the back of him. He's going to pull out the amulet that shields him from the demons.
Mm-hmm.
And go to slide it over her neck. And just when you're like, Durs, you fucking moron, if you take that goddamn amulet off at this moment of all time, he slides it on so that it's over both of them because he's a tiny hoop snake.
Yep.
So while normally it isn't made for 2 people, that's just because it's not physically made for 2 people, not because it can't fit 2 people.
Right. Okay. Definitely roll manipulate someone here, because you're a talking snake and you're trying to give her a piece of jewelry, and you just said your name was Mike and you're here to rescue her. And that's a lot to swallow, even for someone who's been trying to survive this strange, dark trash dimension for a couple days.
No, that's fine. It's important to put my wild ideas into perspective. Come.
Oh no!
There's no one here to help me, is there?
Nope. That's the number. I know it's not good.
6.
Okay. Oh, I could get real.
You don't have to get that real.
Okay.
Shit, you're gonna get that real. Fuck.
I'm gonna get that real. Damien, you go to slip this locket around you and Cassie's neck, and she's a little hesitant at this and pulls away at just the wrong time as your little hoop snake tail is reaching to gesture for her to like slip it on. And she grew up in the Midwest. She knows that, you know, most of the snakes she's been around are not dangerous, but like it's still a weird talking snake, and she kind of just is like, wait a minute, and like goes to slap at you and slaps the amulet off your tail, and it vanishes into the garbage. Let's take a look outside the trash monster.
Do we have to?
I mean, I think we should.
Oh, we should.
There's more happening.
It's narratively the right choice.
Yeah.
You're right, and I'm mad about it.
I have to be right sometimes, even if everyone gets mad about it.
I mean, you're right all the time, but...
So, outside of the trash golem's strange interior dimension, our heroes have just been joined by 3 new combatants. So, who has an idea for what they're doing next in this fight? Felicity, you said you had maybe something you were going to break the game with?
That was a lie. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Okay.
At least you're honest.
Whitaker, we can jump to you, because we did cut away from your interaction with one of these young monster hunters. You were being healed by the dark-skinned girl with the tattoo that starts at the back of her wrist and then trails up like a wrapping vine. And I think you had said, "Who the heck are you?" And she says, "My name's Kens. Are you feeling better?"
Yeah, fair bit. Thanks, kid. Felicity has fallen to the ground.
Yes, she is covered in sludge and garbage nearby you.
Go check on Felicity. That girl over there. Can you do that for me?
She nods. "My friend could use some backup."
Yeah.
And she gestures at the kid with the football pads that have been sort of modded into makeshift armor. But she will cross diagonally with you as you get up and, I guess, go join him in the fight, maybe?
Yep, that's the plan.
Okay, yeah. She'll rush over to Felicity and we can pick up with that in a second. But for now, we'll follow Whitaker. You rise to your feet, feeling much better, having been given a little bit of magical healing from this young sorceress.
How much did she heal me? Because I still have 4 harm marked off. I wasn't sure if she healed me to 4 harm or...
Well, yeah, I was going to say, do you recall being super close to death last time? You would have been at 5 and maybe got healed to 4?
Maybe. That does match the emotions I was experiencing at the end of the game.
Okay. I think you're stabilized, though.
Yes, I don't have unstable marked off.
Yeah, if you take more harm, you will jump back into being unstable, though.
Wonderful.
So be very careful with what you do.
Whitaker rushes in.
All right, cool. Yeah, you can see this other kid with the makeshift armor has the gleaming axe out and looks like he's about to go running in for another swipe at the monster.
Jesus Christ, kid, slow down.
He turns at you. There's this intense look on this kid's face. And do you have your weapon on you, Whitaker? Like, is your gun drawn?
He's got the gun drawn, yes.
Okay. He sees that you have a gun and his like axe is sort of thrumming with this like vibration energy. You can see maybe a bit of glow coming from over where his heart is, Whitaker, even through the jacket that he's got on. And he just says, "Try to keep up, old man. Don't get in my way." And just goes for his attack. I'm gonna roll to see how Buck does. For our listeners, this is Buck Harper. He hasn't introduced himself to the heroes, but that might not happen right away. So rather than just continually referring to him as Football Man. Okay, he has an 11. He also has an ability called I Know My Prey, which will bump him up to a 12 because he's fighting an abomination. So he does some harm with his axe to the trash golem. As he chops in again, that like vibration energy sort of pulses out with this deep bass note, and sections of the trash golem just are scattered across the fairgrounds as if he's like set off a mini charge inside of it. Damien, within the creature's space, the air just rings and hums with an intense energy. And you hear both Cassie and further off the 2 boys cry out in pain. And you are also going to take some harm from this attack.
Uh-oh.
You're going to take 2 harm. Reduced however you can. So
Hand axe wielded by a team.
Well, it's a magical axe. But yeah, if you are not damaged because of your demonic nature, then that's fine. You do, however, see that Cassie, who's already looking rough, is even more so. she's just, ah! And you can hear the two kids off in the distance also scream out as if they're being hurt in some way. But we cut back out to the exterior of the fight, and the monster roars and will slam its trash thing down on Buck. Yeah, that's a trash slam for sure. Oh, but he gets to choose an extra effect. He'll suffer one less harm than he normally would have. So he will take half of the trash slam attack as it pummels him into the ground. But he throws the axe up and catches it to deflect some of the impact. What you doing, Whitaker?
Damien said not to hurt it last session.
He did cry out, "Don't hurt it, the kids are in there."
Yeah.
In fact, just roll a sharp check to see if you notice anything about what happened after that attack.
Yeah, sure. No, I don't. It's a failure.
Okay. Nothing about that one particularly stands out to you. You just have the word of your friend, Damien, telling you what he thought was the best course of action last time.
Shit.
You could just tell this kid, "Hey, cut it out." Like, you could yell at him to stop.
So I'm trying to form the words. Kid, stop swiping at that thing. Try not to hurt the thing. We think Cassie's in there.
Hugo, you're up on the Ferris wheel.
I was going to shoot Whitaker. But it's not quite what you think.
Go for it, I guess. We see Whitaker dress down this kid who showed up ready to fight a monster, and then camera swoops back to the top of the Ferris wheel, and Dr. Loveland is up there with you, Hugo, as you make this move.
I would like to use magic to heal one harm from an injury.
Okay. From a distance, huh?
From a distance.
Interesting.
Very Overwatch-like.
Okay, Anna, I see you.
Yeah. All right. Roll to use magic, I guess.
It could go horribly, horribly wrong.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. Well, the dice parser says 8, so it's not horribly, horribly wrong. It's just not ideal.
Yeah, not great. Well, it just means there will be a glitch. Your effect happens, and you can fire some healing at Whitaker through your Eskrima stick sniper rifle. You had used ice last time, so I'm kind of picturing the Eskrima sticks forming the barrel, but then the trigger guard and all the other accoutrements are just constructed out of ice. Yeah. And now this ice sort of lights up with a warm healing magic, and then pew, you take a shot and hit Whitaker in the back.
So I'm trying to think in my head, what would the effect is weakened be as a glitch? Since it only heals one anyway, it doesn't really make sense. Short duration doesn't make sense either.
Yeah, I don't think either of those are really appropriate in this case.
You know what? Because I haven't actually done this before, let's take one harm.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, Hugo, you can fire this shot of healing energy. Has Hugo healed before?
Not that often, from what I remember.
Yeah, I don't think you heal very much. You're usually the one who needs it. This need to, support your friends on the ground who are much closer to the creature than you are currently. You feel some of the healing magic from your tattoo almost reverse, sap a bit of your energy and channel it through your hand into this ice-constructed sniper rifle, and then fire that at Whitaker. And so as he's, berating this kid, "That's not the plan, stop it!" This bolt of healing hits him in the back, and he kind of straightens up a little more, feeling energized from this source from 400 yards away, or however long the distance is. That's probably too much, but I'm bad at tabletop distance math. That's all. You just take some harm from it. It burns up some of your energy to transfer it over distance to Whitaker. But Dr. Loveland will turn to you and says, "Anytime you want to get closer, you just give me the word." And he twirls his little wand, and there's a little twinkle coming off the tip of it.
I'm quickly learning that's a bad idea for me to do, but we might have to.
What do you think you need? More firepower?
More containment.
He nods and says, "Righto. Well, this never hurts." And he'll point his wand at you, and he's going to enchant your weapon, Hugo. Not that it will do more damage, but he's going to basically attempt to give you +1 forward.
I was about to say, what's my weapon?
Well, the ice thing you've got, your Screamer sticks.
Okay.
Okay. Hell yeah, Dr. Loveland. That's a 9. So he points his wand at this sort of makeshift weapon you've constructed. It seems to hum, and it's almost like in the ice you can see little tiny explosions of like glitter and light happening. But his wand glows a little brightly at the tip, and he says, "Oh no, I've juiced it too much!" and throws his hand up into the sky, and a firework shoots out the tip of his wand and explodes above the Ferris wheel as it draws immediate unwelcome attention.
That's on brand. That's fair.
Yep. He like is looking up at the sky and doesn't gulp, but does the like frog like where his like mouth bulges out a little bit. Whoops. Let's jump back to folks on the ground in front of this monster. Raven, you're there with Aiden and Max. Do you have a plan? Do you have an idea?
I have a question first.
Great. Questions are good too.
Did Raven hear Damien say, "Don't hurt it, the kids are inside"? Because that was last session and I can't remember if she knows that or not.
No, but Aiden did.
Yeah, Aiden heard that. And that was one of the things she said to you when you like rescued her was, "I think the kids are in there."
Okay. All right. Cool. So Raven's going to get both of them standing. Aiden's okay. They're good to go. Right?
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, you're back on your feet. You've both taken some
Yes.
harm. What harm is Raven at right now?
I want to say 3. Yes, I'm at 3 harm.
Okay.
She's hurt, but she's still standing. So what I would like to do is use magic. And I would like to try and trap a specific person, minion, or monster.
Sure.
Specifically monster.
I would like to help out if that is okay.
I feel like as soon as Raven starts, if Felicity sees what Raven's doing, she'll pick up on it.
Yeah.
So that definitely can work.
Given what Hugo also just talked about, I think this might be the start of a big magic that you guys are going to throw together in tandem on the fly.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll determine what each of your contributions is, and then I'll try and wrap it up and see how that could work together. So what does Raven's trap look like as she starts this process?
Because she has Wendy's powers right now, I think she wants to start sprinting in a circle around the monster.
Ooh.
Distracting it and getting it to like not move and feel like it can't move because it's surrounded, and then hopefully pick up a wind as like a little tornado to hold it in place.
Yeah.
That's what she's going to start doing.
Okay, yeah, no, I love that. So you see this thing, you know that maybe you shouldn't keep attacking it if the kids are in there and they're maybe at danger. The monster itself is swiping at Max, who is just sort of leaping out of the way, and occasionally she'll like run up, jump off something, throw open her arms and hold the ends of the cape and sort of glide in like a loop-de-loop out of a swipe of this trash slam, basically being hard to hit but not really engaging much because she still just has that tiny dagger and this is a massive creature. So you sort of get this determined look in your face and are about to go. Aiden's gonna grab your hand really fast and say, "Hang on," and she's gonna try and heal you, so that if you get hurt, you might not be in as much danger.
Mm.
Oh, come on, Aiden.
Am I allowed to help out on my own healing?
No, you are not.
Dang it.
All right, lay on hands, plus cool. She rolled a 6, but she has plus 3, so that's a 9.
She's fine.
So 9, you can heal the harm or illness, but you take it into yourself.
What's Aiden at right now?
That's fine. She's at what she's at.
Is she visibly wounded and about to get worse?
I mean, she got hit by a lightning bolt last time.
Oh, shit, that's right.
But she grabs your hand, golden energy surges through it, and you feel like the cut on the side of your head and like maybe your thigh where you got thrown into the popcorn stand close up. Some of the soreness goes away, and she pulls away and just says, "Go get him."
Raven's going to give Aiden a quick hug because she knows what just happened.
Yeah.
She's gonna like dive forward, give her a big quick squeeze.
You can see like the cut forming on her temple, and like a bit of one of her like lighter colored patches on her jeans starts to like have red seep through it.
Aiden!
But you give her the quick hug and then turn and go and start to run around this creature.
She's like anime running, like super hard forward angle, like leaning. So do I have to roll for this, or are we gonna roll once everyone contributes and do big magic?
Why don't you... Are you saying this is a magic thing? Yeah, it was trapped, right? So
I was saying I wanted to do magic, but if we're gonna turn this into big magic, I didn't know if we were gonna roll twice.
I think we can roll as each step happens, and that'll determine maybe how many steps it takes for this magic to actually kick in and succeed.
Okay.
Or like the degree of success you all have will help determine that.
Cool. And then do I have any bonuses from the windy powers?
Not to use magic, I don't think.
Okay. I wasn't sure if I got extra weird, but I feel like that's OP. I was hopeful.
I think we gave you some evasive armor and some +1s to acting under pressure.
Okay. I don't have anything written down, but that's fine.
What it was you also had the basically a version of the Hexes Burn Everything, where it was Windy's Quill, gave you an area attack, or like an armor-piercing shot, basically.
That's what it was. That's why I didn't write it.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Hey, Quinn. I love these.
You're welcome.
I just rolled double sixes.
Nice.
First roll ever. That's a 14 total.
Yeah. So, you have this very cool scene where you activate Windy's super speed wind powers. And at first, it's like a step, leap, step, leap. And then it's like step, leap. And suddenly now wind and leaves and dust and like grass from the fairgrounds getting kicked up every time one of your armored feet just digs into the ground. It's almost like a trench is even being dug a little bit as you just kick stuff into the air and start to form this tornado around the monster. All the lights and bright shining things from the fairground are like stretching as trails of light now as you move super quickly in this spiral. Yeah, you just hear in your head Windy's voice that you now recognize. Fly, Raven. Just tearing up this circular trap that might stop the monster from proceeding anywhere. Speaking of wind powers, Felicity.
That's me.
Yeah. Let's table talk for a second, because last we were with Felicity, she was not quite all there and had been this like font of magical energy just sort of lashing out blindly without a lot of conscious control. Where do you think Felicity is at now, having been blasted to the ground by this monster's attack?
That's a great question. She's probably gotten the kind of like the shit beat into her.
Or, ironically, the wind knocked out of her?
Hey.
Yay.
So maybe a little stunned and dazed, but maybe more back in control of her faculties?
Yes.
Okay. I think you kind of come to, maybe not even remembering the last few attacks that you made, as this like scion of elemental magic, but you push yourself up, you're covered in just like banana peels and like gross takeout containers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But you can still hear the roar of a monster. You can glance around quickly and like your friends that are still around look like they're engaging. What would you like to do as you see Raven take off and start to form this tornado?
I would also like to use magic to contain this demon.
Okay. Roll use magic. I have an idea for what this could be, and it's not really one of the effects on the table. So,
okay.
Or rather, it could be, but I'll tell you depending on how well you do.
11.
I think even before your magic kicks off, Felicity, you hear someone saying, "Hold still, all right? I'm going to try and help you out." And you see this young girl with a glowing tattoo on her wrist reaching towards you. Do you do anything or?
Nope. I'm just going with it.
Okay. Oh boy. Well,
I will also say Felicity's also at 3 harm.
This is okay. Mackenzie, or Kens, as she introduced herself, has a +2 to weird, and that's a good thing because she has a 7.
How much did Aiden heal Raven for? Because I forgot to mark it off till just now. Was it 1?
2. It was 2.
Oh, it was 2. Shit, I'm so glad I asked.
But Kens will heal you for 1, Felicity.
Awesome.
The tattoo on her wrist glows red hot. You see she winces as she's also going to take 1 harm from doing this.
No! These children!
They are reckless. But you get healed 1, which will help you. And you're 11 on use magic. You reach out and want to stop this monster, but your sense of magic spreads across, and this ping that you get back almost is like the creature that's there isn't there. Like, it's there physically. You can see it physically interacting with your friends and being circled by Raven as she runs around it, but there's nothing magically indicating its core or its essence in the place that it's standing, but you do get a ping a little further back behind the grandstands. And so I'm flavoring this as a observe another place or time version of the move. And you know that moment in Lord of the Rings where Bilbo or Frodo put on the ring and then suddenly they and they're right up at the Tower of Sauron?
Yes.
It's kind of like that, where you, from where you're sitting on the ground rushes beneath you, and you are there observing the dumpster that you guys had seen that corrosion on, and glowing at the back of it are these strange glyphs, hot as coals or magma, just seared into the back of this dumpster. And this is where you feel the core of this monster is.
It's the garbage!
Kenz will help you to your feet. What do you mean?
The dumpster. That's where it's coming from. We can't hurt this thing. We gotta go to the dumpster. Sorry, I'm a little, hurt.
She will, call over to probably Buck, and she says, "Keep it distracted!" And she sprints off towards the dumpsters. Do you want to go with her, Felicity?
Yes.
Okay. So Felicity and Kenz take off, avoiding the main battle, but going towards this source of power. Buck gets the call from Kenz, and then he says, sort of looking at his axe frustratedly, "If I can't blow it up, what am I supposed to do?"
Whitaker feels a strange kinship with this young jock who can only hurt things. All right, so we've got Raven doing a fun run around. We've got Aiden bleeding out.
She's not on her knees passing out, but she's just a little beat up, more so than usual.
Oh, God.
How many harm is she at, Natalie? Huh?
Yeah, is she unstable?
That's for me to know.
We're all friends here. You can tell us.
You know.
If you had to put a number on it.
If I had to put a number on it, she's pretty close to unstable.
Oh, that's fine. She's fine.
But close on which side, though?
That's a good point.
You don't have to worry about Aiden. She's fine.
I'm going to be so honest with you, Natalie. You have created a story in which Aiden is the thing we have to worry about all the time.
We're finally worrying just enough about her.
So you hear the young girl with the vine tattoo shout to keep it distracted.
Create a distraction. All right, what is the nearest carnival stand or ride?
There's the popcorn stand that Raven got chucked into.
Yep.
There's probably another one of the booths that is a simple target game with a lot of stuffed prizes hanging off of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think the closest ride is a rounded, it's like if you had a train track, right? Just a circular train track, and then warped it so that it went up and down a lot as it went around in the circle. And then in that, there were cars to sit in, and it just goes around and around this up and down loopy track. And then you would have seen this during the carnival. At a certain point in the ride's progress, it then reverses and does all that backwards.
Oh, sure.
And it goes around one way and then backwards and around a couple times, and then you get off. So we can say that ride is nearby.
That's fun. So what is it currently focused on? Because Julie's gone, or at least not nearby.
Yes, Julie is far off and out of line of sight here. The monster seems to be attacking primarily Max.
The Morrigan.
Yes, correct. In fact, I'll just roll act under pressure for Max to see if they've managed to avoid taking any damage in all this time. Okay, Max, how cool are you? Cool enough.
I think Max is pretty cool.
In a mixed success, Max will... let's see. As Max is avoiding getting hit with the slam, they see Felicity and Kenz running towards the dumpsters. And if they dodge, the slam is going to impact those two. And so They stand their ground, stick the dagger into the ground in front of them, and the little white ermine on their back leaps out and sort of sends a shockwave against the trash tendril that comes in. It slows the attack, but they are going to take some harm from it as it then smacks them and they go bowling over into the grass.
Shit.
Max will have a couple harm done to them. But yeah, it seems very focused on attacking them for now. You do have an advice move, right? Or is that just for like, it has to be before a fight's happening?
I mean, we've kind of jerry-rigged it to be something else. The actual text of it is, when a hunter comes to you for advice about a problem, give them your honest opinion and advice. If they take your advice, they get +1 ongoing when following your advice.
Well, I mean, Buck just asked, like, what am I supposed to do?
Buddy, fuck if I know.
Hey, that's your honest opinion. I feel like he should get +1 forward. Does don't get killed count as advice?
Don't get killed does count as advice. I wouldn't say it's very good advice.
Do the rules say it has to be good advice or just honest?
I will say that, like, if you want more description of the area, I can add more, like, locations and things for you to maybe work with.
You've given me some very good things to work with. My problem is I don't know how to, like, naturally work them into a fun plan, a fun distraction plan.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because I can't think of a way to get its attention without harming it.
I mean, you could just take the protect someone move and try to help Max from being squished.
Okay, is Max close enough to us? I thought Max was a little further off.
I mean, this whole fight is taking place in a pretty, like you know, like there's not hundreds of feet between you and them. You know what I mean? If you want to like rush over, you can. We're not as concerned with like distance in these kinds of battles.
Let's do that then. Whitaker's going to go over to Max and he's going to try, once he's done helping get them up after they got totally just bowling balled by a bunch of trash, Whitaker's going to try to pull them to somewhere with cover, like maybe the ride has like somewhere we could hide under. Is that the protect someone roll, or is that the...
Yeah, roll protect someone.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's an 11.
Nice. I was going to say, it's kind of cool if, like, as Buck, you know, we have the moment where he's like, what are we supposed to do? And then Whitaker looks and sees the, like, attention of the monster is on Max. And then it's, like, scene with her fighting. She gets knocked back. And, like, rather than, like, rolling backwards and being impaled on some sort of, like, bent fence post or whatever, like, Whitaker steps in and catches them and prevents them from, like, totally eating it.
Sure.
Yeah, they look up at you and say, oh, hey, thanks. You're, like... Raven's dad or something, right?
Whitaker ignores this and says, get up, kid. We're finding somewhere safe to put you.
All right, yeah. You have some very fun options to choose between now.
I would like to hold the enemy back.
Cool.
And give Max a chance to run.
I like that. You tell Max to flee. They will take that opportunity to sort of slip into shadows. And the monster roars as it is, again, it loses them because of all the dust Raven is kicking up and screams down at you.
The Morgan is mine! Out of the way!
And they will throw another tendril out at you. Yeah, this is a trash slam, Whitaker. What harm are you at?
I'm at 3.
Okay. You have 4 incoming.
Whitaker's dying.
I'm going to have Aiden try to protect you.
Well, I guess, no, I do have 2 armor, so I'm not dying.
So it would be 2, but Aiden hasn't done anything yet, so I'll see if she can...
Aiden is actually on the ground right now and shouldn't do anything.
She's not on the ground.
All right, let me, from a mechanics standpoint, can you protect someone who is currently protecting someone and just create a long chain of protect someones? Because that is what this is.
Sure, why not? Because the options change depending on whether you succeed or what you choose, right? You didn't choose suffer little harm. You chose focus danger on me. So it is now. And so to stop this new danger, which is the second attack, Aiden's going to step in.
All right.
That is a 9. 7+. You protect them okay, but you'll suffer some or all the harm they were going to get. Aiden is going to push you out of the way, and she will take the trash slam instead.
So, out of curiosity, Natalie, is it a part of your current narrative trajectory for Aiden to die as a way to reveal something to us? Is there something you've got planned? Because my God.
My plan is to keep Whitaker in the fight, because you taking a bunch of harm is not as great as Aiden taking 1.
Okay.
Because while she is wounded, she can tank a 4 harm hit, and Whitaker cannot do that as effectively.
So do I take no harm then? Or do I still take some?
Well, I think some of it will mean that, some. Yeah, if we break it up as some, then maybe you both could escape this without harm thanks to your different reduction abilities.
Yeah, what's Aiden's armor threshold?
So if I split it in half, right, and say that Whitaker is going to get 2 harm and Aiden's going to get 2 harm, she will completely negate any mechanical damage. She will get slammed by the garbage and maybe thrown onto the ground again.
Right.
But in game terms, she won't take another tick in the box, which keeps her out from unstable. Is Whitaker unstable again, though? Did any of the harm get through?
Well, if it's only 2, then no.
So then, yeah, she manages to just push you and get you guys out from the brunt of it. And it's just the edges of the tendril that shoot forward that kind of catch you. And you are knocked to the ground with superfluous injury, right? Like a bruise or whatever.
Sure.
Nothing that would count as a 1/7 of your overall well-being.
Fuck, Aiden, I know you're not keen on interacting with demons, but is there a chance you could calm this thing down?
Ooh, that's an interesting idea. She sits up, glances desperately at the monster that Raven is continuing to try to encircle, and she says, I think if I interact with it at all, I'm going to wind up hurting the people inside. We've got to buy everyone else more time. And her wings shoot out, and she's going to fly up into the air to be another target. We see that Max has used one of the flagpoles at the grandstands, shimmied up it, and is holding on to the top and calls out and says, I can be the target! Somebody give me a lift! And she leaps off, throws out her black cloak to glide for a minute, and that's when Aiden will take off. Her wings unfold and will grab onto Max, and the two of them start to fly in a spiral around this thing so that it continues to not progress forward. Damien.
So Damien turns to see the amulet fall into the trash, and for a second he goes to leap towards it, but having already seen the two fellows dive down and seeing how lost that necklace already is, he brings up his snake tail, pinches the brow of his nose, turns around to face Cassie. I apologize. That was my bad for trying to inflict my way of saving you onto you and your friends. How would you like to be saved? Would you like to ride out of here on a horse? Do you play softball and want to smack your way out of here with a magic bat? Tell me what you would like my magic shape-shifting body to help you with.
Okay. Roll a charm roll. And by the way, I know how difficult this is for you particularly, Durs, because I recognize that you are not using one of Damien's abilities for any of these checks. And I applaud you for that decision.
10.
A 10. Okay. So, this talking snake, you explain that you are here to help, and you can help in a different way if that would make Cassie more comfortable. And when you say, do you want to ride out of here on a horse? She says, yeah, I can ride. I know how to ride.
Excellent. And Damien will turn into a unicorn.
Perfect. Okay. Your snake form grows and grows and grows. Cute little unicorn horn, glorious mane, and Cassie will reach out and throw her arms around your neck and then kind of like kip up off the trash. With your nimble unicorn hooves, you can start to run across the surface of this undulating garbage. I assume you're going to go try and collect the other two from inside here.
Damien doesn't care, so he has to ask her, "Nay! Are we going to save your friends?"
We see the two boys are now even further off into this expanse of junk. Their voice is starting to take on that like locationless echoey sound of like, help, oh my god, I don't want to die here. And she is like hugging you and gripping your mane very tightly. She just says, they're rotten, all right. Nobody deserves to be in this place. Let's go.
Sweet. And Damien will make his way towards the closest one as best he can through the garbage.
Okay, I need you to act under pressure.
8.
All right. Damien, you see on the horizon of this place, the land starting to lift, almost in the shape of like a giant tsunami. And you can definitely get to those kids, but if you run towards them, by the time you reach them, you will need to think of something really quick to get out of here because that wave will crash onto all of you moments after you reach them. And that will be the price to pay for pursuing this.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Okay.
We're charging forth majestically.
The unicorn charges forward, its little hooves kicking off bits of garbage and old cheeseburger wrappers and all the junk in this place. And you rush towards the two boys who see the horse coming and are calling out, Cassie, help! Oh my god, was that a unicorn? You run up to them. They can either grab onto one of your legs and sort of like scramble up. Cassie will give them a hand and let them like sit up behind her on your back. Matt will say, now what? And the shadow of this wave of garbage just passes over all of you. And everyone kind of looks up and sees it looming above as it's about to come crashing. We cut away out of this inner space of the trash golem. Now we can jump over to Hugo and Dr. Loveland atop the Ferris wheel. What's your plan?
Frankly, I have no idea. Because Hugo has no idea what's going on.
You do see Raven doing her, like, tornado maneuver. And it looks like Aiden and someone are now flying around this monster in the air.
How do you hinder a monster? That is the question.
You have some hindering magics, do you not?
Yep. And Hugo doesn't know that the kids are in there, so oh well. So let's just fire another ice missile.
Okay.
It's either we fire an ice missile or we try to use magic to hold stuff in place.
Ice walls are cool.
You could flavor the trapping a monster as like different or a different application of the like ice shot, you know, if you wanted to.
I have an idea.
Okay.
So going to use magic to trap a specific person, minion, or monster, but he's going to fire an ice shot at Raven's heels.
Okay.
And have her spread the ice around the creature while she's flying around and running.
Gotcha.
Ice tornado.
Yeah, that's fun.
But what does Dice Barca think?
Yeah, let's see how this goes first, and then we'll describe it.
So on the plus side, I know for a fact it won't fail because I have a lot of bonuses here. So we have that, and we have that, and we have that. 13.
Hell yeah. All right. So with your +1 forward from Dr. Loveland, your affinity for entangling magics, and this new mastery of the element of ice that you're displaying, you fire some shots. Now, just describe it to me again. You're firing it at Raven's heels?
That was going to be the attempt.
I like the idea of the ice tornado. I just think maybe we need to like describe it a little differently because I don't think you would hit her. She's moving just much too quick. But it could be, ooh, you know what's fun?
Yes, what is fun?
Allow me if you will. You fire some of these shots, and we follow one of these ice bolts as it leaves your makeshift sniper rifle. And inside of it, we can see more of that like sparkling, glittery magic from Dr. Loveland. And as it approaches and gets just close enough to the wind tornado Raven is whipping up, it explodes like a firework and starts to cast a rain, like a mist, a shattering of these ice crystals. And you just begin to unload, firing bolt after bolt after bolt that hits the tornado, bursts, and gets swept up in the moving winds. Raven, you feel the temperature dropping. It's getting really cold. But Windy says, I can be a winter breeze. And you continue to run now, sometimes even just stepping up onto the bolts of ice that Hugo is firing and kicking them to explode in certain directions and angles. And the wind that you are in starts to take on this wintry, icy, almost like a blizzard feel to it as snow and hail is whipped up. Whitaker, Aiden, Max, you can all see that the exterior of the monster starts to be coated in this frost as both the speed of the wind and now this additional ice magic begins to harden its exterior, and it's moving much slower. I'm going to have Aiden and Max roll to act under pressure again to see if they can avoid getting hit with the slam. They both rolled a 10 plus. So together our two winged heroes are sort of darting about, making this monster miss by splitting up, catching each other, flying around, trading, who's in the lead at certain points as this thing does start to slow down and crack in certain spots. Damien, you and the kids inside feel the temperature dropping in this space. But as far as trapping it goes, Hugo, this is definitely helping with the overarching magic that your team is trying to pull off here. Felicity.
That's me.
You and Kens rush towards the dumpster.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get there, the observe another place or time that you're experiencing is still active. And so you can see, almost like X-ray vision through the dumpster, that it has these etchings inscribed on it, but it's inscribed on the back of it. Meaning the reason you only saw corrosion on the interior when Damien went inside was because the markings are on the exterior of the dumpster, but facing the concrete wall of the grandstands. So if you're going to try and do something about this, you're going to have to move this dumpster.
Oh, geez.
I love that the two, nerdy casters are now here where a feat of strength is necessary.
If only someone could defy gravity.
I would like to defy gravity.
Okay, sure.
All right, let's see. Oh, 14.
Wow, I did not miss Felicity being magical. Okay.
To be fair, that was a really good roll.
Yeah.
I got a 6 and a 4.
So, Felicity, you reach out to alter the gravity around this dumpster, and nothing happens at first. And you're like, oh, maybe my magic it's not working, because you were having trouble accessing it. Mm-hmm. But then you see the sides of the dumpster kind of start to and buckle inwards, and everyone fighting the monster, you see it goes to reach out and maybe take a swipe at Whitaker or Buck, and suddenly the arm that was going to hit them, rather than impacting, it is shunted back as if it's being pulled in from its interior to shrink. And one corner of the dumpster buckles inwards, and the whole size of the monster just crunches a little bit smaller. Damien, inside, that tsunami is breaking on you, but now you see others rising up from elsewhere, as if this whole space is collapsing inwards. And Felicity, the dumpster starts to rise into the air and continue to sort of buckle and crunch inward as if you took a box made of aluminum foil and were starting to crumple it. In fact, I need you to act under pressure.
Oh, boy. 10!
Then your trauma does not cause you to fail in this magic. You grit your teeth and maintain your gravitational hold on the interior of this dumpster. And Ken's, actually, you see she throws her hand out and the vines of her tattoo suddenly spring forth as real vines, and they wrap around the dumpster and spin it around to where you can now see the glowing etched glyphs of the demonic circle on the back of this structure, as cracks form in it as the metal is again being crumpled and imploded.
I would like to slice.
Like sever the magic, you mean? Like,
yes.
Okay. I think that's like a compound magical move, which you can totally attempt if you want to.
So roll for use magic?
Yeah, roll again.
15! 15!
Oh my god. Okay, we're gonna resolve that after I check in with Damien.
Okay.
So Felicity, your magic is crushing this thing as most of the dumpster has now been crushed and reduced. The last bit of it that is resisting your magic is this circle of the metal that has the inscription on it. And you begin to build up, again, another bit of wind in your hand. This elemental magic you weren't able to access before. And it just starts to hum like a blade of air.
I'm so cool now.
And you are about to unleash a erosive attack of wind on this etched circle.
A slice, if one may say.
A slice. But before we resolve that, Damien, you have all the kids. The space is closing in on you. The tsunami has broken. Trash is beginning to drop down. You're about to be buried. What do you do?
Damien, having the 3 scared teens on his back, will rear up a little bit and begin to charge directly towards the tsunami itself as the horn on his head grows just a little bit more, and he leans his head down so the point is facing low to the ground. And then very quickly he's going to whip his head back as the horn begins to come in contact with the wave, because his goal is to try to cut a little path through it. When the horn gets up top and there's that little bit of a slice, you know there's no way that the kids and a unicorn are going to fit through that. When the horn's all the way up, he's going to turn into a narwhal, which is wider than the kids. And instead of diving gracefully in like one normally would, he actually leans back and belly flops directly into the wave so that the kids are on his back, not taking whatever full force of charging a trash wave is to try to shove his way out.
Uh-huh. Oh boy. Are you acting under pressure or are you protecting someone?
The protection is the thought with the transforming into the narwhal.
Okay. Roll protect someone as you attempt to help these kids.
And if any one of them wants to help, you know, I'm just here. I'll take a 9.
Okay.
Nothing special. I take some or all of the harm intended for these young ones.
Yeah.
Just, you know, keep it under 5 for me.
So, as this cold, now frozen bunch of trash waves crash down on you, you're dodging some, leaping across others, as this unicorn, burdened by the 3 humans clinging to you for dear life, seeing no other way out, you figure, time to get big. And your unicorn form leaps into the air, the horn itself staying the same shape, just extending a bit as the rest of you becomes this whale body. And I'm gonna flavor something here for you, Damien. As your whale form sort of expands from the unicorn shape, it actually envelops the kids into your pocket dimension, briefly. And when you go to break through the barrier of this space to get out of this other demon, it feels like you're taking something out of your dimension to use it. It's the same kind of magic. And your narwhal body just bursts from the last bit of the trash golem, frozen in place as Raven, you whoosh, skate to a stop, your little jackalope hooves covered in the remnants of frost. And there's like a half beat where the body of the monster is frozen, and then suddenly this wail just...
Don't do drugs, kids.
Whitaker, you are tackled out of the way by Buck, so you get sacked by this, high school football player. Felicity, we cut back to you as the narwhal lies there beached in the middle of Pecatonica, Illinois, and you let go with the wind magic, which passes through the glyphs silently, and then in an instant, the glyphs wink out, and two halves of this metal disc with nothing left of the rest of the dumpster behind it just tink, separate and land onto the pavement with a bit of a clatter. And then we see the vines sort of retreat into Kenz's arm. Aiden and Max land, and Hugo up on the Ferris wheel. Dr. Loveland turns to you and says, "What a show! Now that's what I call a festival!"
I love him. Are you kidding me? This guy's great.
I love him.
Yeah, I'm all about Dr. Loveland.
Like a slimier radio ghost.
Just a little green around the edges.
Like a slimier, slightly more charming radio ghost.
Less evil.
In fact, he will wave his wand and put a webbed hand on your shoulder, Hugo, and the two of you vanish in like pixie dust sparkles from the top of the Ferris wheel and appear next to some of your companions near like the popcorn stand.
Can I add a bit more flavor?
Sure.
As they appear, Hugo's shaking his head, and there's just sparkles pouring out of his dreads.
Just like glitter.
Just like glitter.
Brushing off his shoulders.
Incredible.
Damien's gonna dive back into the trash because he has to.
Oh.
Well, it's interesting, Damien. The kids, like, roll out of your whale mouth. Or you can, like, expel them however you want. Like, if you just turn into goop and they are, like...
Through the blowhole.
Yeah, you can blowhole them out like a cartoon.
Like Finding Nemo.
But in any case, the kids are released from your pocket dimension. And then do you assume a human shape?
Yeah, I feel like the narwhal trying to like roll its way over to the trash pile isn't effective. And I don't actually expect to find it in the trash pile, but Damien has to go through the motions of digging frantically through the garbage.
Yeah. When you go to try and dig through this garbage, Damien, you pick up a milk jug or something, and rather than it just being a milk jug, it crumbles to ash in your hand. You inspect a wet-looking cardboard box, and it's also just turns to ash and is scattered on the wind. And all the remnants of the giant trash golem just disintegrate into nothing. And there's just this like haunting voice on the air. More again. And your locket is nowhere to be seen. The kids who like pour out of Damien's interdimensional pocket are still covered in garbage, still not looking great. I think as Felicity and Ken's come rushing back to the group, she'll go over and inspect to see if like they need emergency magical healing. None of them are in great shape, especially Cassie, who looks underweight. Like she was in there for a week without like much sustenance at all. So I think Ken's and Buck grab like some water bottles from like the popcorn stand, offer her some water to drink and maybe some of the popcorn if they can find some that's not all over the ground. Some of you hear horse hooves, and other you hear the sound of a motorbike as the two Centaur security guards come up. Julie is actually riding on the back of one of the bikes / their back and hops off immediately and runs over to Cassie and the other two boys, and she's crying. She was very scared. She's like, "I'm so sorry. Are you okay? I never meant for any of that to happen. Oh my God. I was so worried about all of you." all three of them are just sort of kind of out of it, that they can't like really respond with any sort of like, you know, like, oh, it's fine, I forgive you, you know, whatever. But like, she's just fussing over them, like concerned. You know, she did a mean thing, but she didn't want to like kill anybody, you know. I think Jane, one of the centaurs, comes over to you, Whitaker, and just says, well, your agency gonna help come up with a cover story for this sort of thing?
Fuck.
As far as she knows, you're the Eastie agency.
Well, yep, no, I understand the situation perfectly.
Tell them you're on vacation and you promised your boss you wouldn't do any work, so they're just gonna have to call it in on their own.
It's fine. There was a fire, or whatever we said. Earthquake.
Yeah, I'll have my people get in touch with your people.
Actually, Dr. Loveland will croak up, and he just says, actually, Jane, if you're worried about witnesses, we can handle that tomorrow with the lemonade stand. And kind of waves his wand with a little twinkle.
Whatever works. Whew.
We can disguise any damages to the carnival itself as grease fire explosion, small earthquake in the area. We can have these things written up in the police report.
When you mention that, Whitaker, you do hear like, woo, woo, the sound of emergency response vehicles approaching the campgrounds.
Yeah.
It took them long enough.
I think we should do like a small explosion real quick.
I'm thinking the same thing, honestly. There's a lot of ice. We need to get this ice melted to make it look like there was a fire.
Yeah, is the trash monster disintegrating fully into ash?
Yes.
Or is there... Okay,
like, there's
cool.
not like an empty hollow ice sculpture of it left behind.
Okay, that's what I was picturing, and I was really worried.
Yeah, no, the ice is also magical, and so like it will scatter quicker than a regular ice, you know, chunk of that size would have.
Yeah, Damien's just kneeling in a giant tub of ashes,
sifting through every one of them for a glint of silver.
Can the cover story be that someone like flicked a cigarette into the dumpster and there was like someone had dumped oil or something in there and it exploded? I think some kind of explosion and fire and like people saw smoke and started seeing weird stuff. That might be a good cover story.
I'm trying to read Natalie's expression to gauge if this is actually a good idea or not.
It's the only thing I can think of. It seems the most plausible. People panicked and saw things.
There's probably some propane tanks lying around some of the food trucks.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Someone improperly disposed of something and that's why it blew up.
As you guys are like quickly brainstorming this like potential cover story, Max is like talking with Buck and Ken's, and you see Ken's is actually holding the like piece of metal that has the runes inscribed on it. Like she collected the two pieces, and Max walks over to you, Raven. You're still in the windy armor, but you could dismiss it if you wanted to.
She's gonna hang on to it for a little bit.
Okay.
Nice.
She has her like little crow mask like off to the side of her head. So, we really don't want to get involved with the authorities, again. Could you like, we have to get out of here.
Oh yeah, you guys need to go. We'll try and make it look like an explosion and a fire and stuff. You guys get out of here. We'll catch up with you later. Thank you for your help.
Wyatt will come over and say, you can lay low at our tent for a little bit. And they nod, thank you. Okay, yeah. Buck gives you all a pretty suspicious look as he follows the two girls. Now that you all are talking about explosions, Dr. Loveland has this like glint in his eye, and he says, where would you like the biggest bang to happen there, boss? And he's talking to you, Whitaker.
In whatever place is closest to this and won't give us a hard time to clean up later.
He takes his hat off, points his wand into it, and a stream of that sparkly, glittery magic fires into the hat, and it starts to bulge towards the back. And you see light pouring from the seams of it, and like glitter starting to spill out over the like brim of it. And he calls out and says, you all probably don't want to be at the scene of this either. I'd suggest moving it along. Jane just nods and like kind of ushers you guys away from here. Dr. Loveland takes his hat, throws it into the air as it's spilling over with this glittery potential of magic, and he says, I love a finale, and fires one more bolt of this glitter magic into the hat. and it goes off like a fireworks finale, just sending rocketing, screaming streamers and little sparklers everywhere. Several of the tents and like banners and things get charred and catch fire and stuff, and it's a huge mess. But at least it's all mundane fire. There's nothing magical to it. Dr. Loveland, as soon as his like tattered hat floats down to the ground, picks it up, dusts it off on his pant leg, puts it on, and as soon as he does, he assumes the form of a human Dr. Loveland again. And he tucks his wand into his coat and kind of strolls towards the approaching like fire chief and couple of police officers. Gentlemen, we really have to talk about the fireworks policy at this fair.
What a treasure. I love him.
You guys all slink away into the night, and we sort of leave the county fairgrounds as more fire trucks and more police cars pull up, and maybe an ambulance. Julie is there, like, seeing to Zane, Matt, and Cassie as they're finally loaded onto the stretchers and taken away, and you have found the missing kids.
We did it.
Congrats. Hello, adventurers. Sometimes this show is just a little bit weird. I just set a fireworks display to music thanks to a magical carny frogman. And on the topic of weird and strange events, this week we are promo swapping with Monster Hour. Now, you may remember we swapped with them a couple weeks ago, but this time we're sharing the trailer for their new season, which uses the Absurdia rules system. Absurdia runs on the Powered by the Apocalypse engine, just like Monster of the Week, and explores themes of absurdist humor, existential horror, and mind-warping mundanity. And it was designed by Monster Hour's game master, Quinn. Let's check it out.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Monster Hour, an actual play podcast about weird heroes, found family, and the stories you make when you go off the rails. Step through the looking glass and into our Season 2 game of Absurdia, a modern fantasy role-playing game about the absurd humor and understated horror of everyday life. Join demi-ghost lifestyle blogger Claire Claremont.
I do terrify people in town quite often.
Community radio host Duncan Oliver.
Investigative, friendly, a little flirty.
And woe-begotten time traveler Max.
The Time Cat is the reason I got unstuck from time.
As they navigate the surreal suburban town of somewhere. The Screaming Fog.
Oh, shit.
The City Council, praise be.
I don't even refer to them by name. I don't want to give them that kind of power.
Bus is sentient, Bus is alive, Bus is forever.
A leviathan of steel and tinted glass.
Run! Run!
If you're a fan of Welcome to Night Vale, Alice in Wonderland, or Gravity Falls, you'll love Season 2 of Monster Hour. New episodes every other Tuesday, wherever you get your podcasts.
You can find Monster Hour on Twitter, @MonsterHourPod. They are good beans, and you should send them some love if you wind up liking their wild new story. Speaking of things on the Twitterverse, thank you to everyone who tweeted at the show and sent us your questions. We answered a bunch of them on a special celebratory 50th episode Roundtable Q&A. Similar to the individual character streams we've been doing on our Patreon Discord, but this episode had the entire cast and will be available to everyone once we're out of spoiler territory for the episodes it covers up to. We had so much fun making it, we're definitely going to do it again. And we would love to answer more of your questions about the story, your favorite characters, the production of the show, and anything else you might be curious about. You can send your questions to our Twitter, @StorySquadCast, or send them as an email to thestorytellersquad@gmail.com. I'd like to especially shout out our listeners on Spotify this week. You've all been crushing it with the reviews lately. Only 7 more, and we'll have hit our first goal on that platform. That being said, the race for reviews isn't over till it's over. So all you adventurers listening on Apple Podcasts, you could still catch up and score the win. As always, thank you to everyone for sharing the show directly to people you know. That will always be the best way to bring new folks into our community so they can enjoy these wild adventures with us. That's all for this week. Take care of each other, adventurers. We'll see you next time. what you guys do next is kind of still up in the air a little bit. Would you say you hang around the fairgrounds to talk to Max and her friends? Do you bid them a quick goodbye? What's the plan here?
I mean, I feel like we need to debrief with them.
Yeah.
I mean, step one is deal with the mundane authorities.
Well, that's not as fun to roleplay, and like really
Right.
Loveland and the two centaurs are able to like handle that as like faces of authority for the fair. And because of you guys helping to clear Loveland's name, he's more than willing to like take some of the fall for it if people are like, well, where did the fireworks come from? And he's like, oh, we were storing them there by that can of propane and that grease trap.
And that place to dispose of cigarettes.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird we store them all together.
But, you know, they cook up some story to plausibly explain why people might have hallucinated or thought that a smoke shape was a monster. I mean, you could go back to the trailer, I suppose.
That seems like as good a place as any. The kids are chilling in one of the tents, so if we could just drop by and tell them where we're going, or Raven could send a text to Max. I want to debrief with the children.
Do you want to debrief with your team first or with everyone together?
Ooh, good point.
Because also, some of you are still hurt.
I want to address if anyone's hurt first.
Okay. Aiden is not unstable. Like, she's hurt, but she's not going to get worse. Is anyone unstable?
Raven's like almost fine.
Okay. Then yeah. Thanks to some magic healing and just good tactics, you've managed to avoid any grievous injury.
Can we bring the two halves of the little demon circle with us, or are they too big to carry reliably?
Well, Ken's has those.
Oh, sorry.
If you want those, you would have to either ask for them from her or just try and see if you could get them once you talk to the kids.
Yeah, we'll get them. We'll take care of that later. Then.
But at least they're out of the crime scene.
Yes, they are.
Cool.
As soon as we're back to the trailer, Raven's going to offer to heal Aiden.
Okay. She slumps against the side of the trailer and sits in the grass because this area of the fairgrounds is much more like field-like. So yeah, she's just got like her head leaning back. I'm actually all right. You don't have to.
Raven's going to drop the windy spirit thing.
Yeah. Your spirit
I think
armor.
she kept it. Yeah, the spirit armor. I think she kept it the whole walk back to the trailer and then is finally like, okay, I guess I'll let it go now. And like shrinks back down to her normal height.
Yeah, I think how it happens is like the armor glows, you shrink back down, and like the mask that you had down over your face springs off of you, and Windy sort of forms behind it and then leaps down onto the ground.
I love that.
Comes over and like paws up onto Aiden's thigh and inspects her.
Yeah, Raven's gonna sit down in the grass right next to her and just try to heal her. Like, she's not even gonna try and reason with her. It's like,
yeah, okay.
You're clearly hurt. This is going to help you.
Roll use magic.
Okay. That's a 7.
Okay, comes with a glitch.
I'm just gonna take 1 harm. I don't think Raven's even gonna question it if that's... I know, it's so stupid. But like she it's still in her head. It was so recent that Aiden did that for her.
Yep.
That now it's like, all right, well, if we can even it out a little bit, like you're clearly way more hurt than I am. So let's spread it out. And she's going to try very, very, very hard to hide the fact that she did that.
Okay. Well, you will heal 1 of her 3, and now you're at 2?
Do I take 1?
If you're going to take 1 harm from doing this magic, yeah, and that being the glitch.
Yeah, so I'm at 2.
Okay. It's so funny.
I can't not. There's nothing.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, just that like silver magic extends from your hand.
Yeah, she's gonna like put a hand on her knee and be like, okay, and heal her anyway, and then try not to make any kind of noise at taking 1 harm, and then just sit down in the grass next to her and lean up against the trailer.
I'll see if she notices. You are lucky.
Did she not? I was gonna fight you on that. I was gonna try and roll to manipulate if she like rolled high enough to notice. She's hiding this.
She got a 5, so she didn't notice.
Cool. Good.
So she feels a little better and just sort of quietly, thanks.
Anytime.
That was really smart with the tornado.
Thanks. The ice definitely helped. Raven's gonna look up and see if everyone else is around and kind of gesture for everyone to like sit. Just sit in the grass. Let's make a little circle. Let's talk.
Sure.
Guys, I fucked up. I lost my stealth necklace.
What? How'd you lose it?
I was in a trash monster. It was pretty chaotic while I was saving the kids single-handedly. So, price of victory, I guess.
You did save those kids.
So if anyone wants to share or call a Rayanne or
I'll give him a call in the morning, see what we can do.
Morning might be too late.
Yeah, I'm sure the fate of the world can last like 8 hours. That'll be fine. It's probably low priority for him.
You can take mine if you need it.
I was going to say, Aiden scrambles up and just starts fishing around her neck for the amulet that Rian gave her.
No, Aiden, that's your siblings coming after you.
I'm used to it.
Yeah, but we're not. Aiden, listen, I know that's a reality you're okay with facing, but surely there's someone here who would be less of a target without that charm.
Which one of us has pissed them off the least?
Is it Raven?
It might be Raven.
It might be Raven.
Because I'm thinking, I was thinking it in a magical sense, so Whitaker would be the least, but he also has a huge target on his back.
From what?
From being part of the agency. I don't know. I just feel like people are coming after you too.
Yeah, but I don't think the charm's gonna stop that.
That's true, yeah. But no matter what, one of us is going to be without one for at least a short time.
I'm also the one that can get away from the rest of you the fastest.
Can you? Because your teleportation hasn't exactly been...
We can't rely on it.
And her wings appear. I don't have to teleport.
That's true. Maybe we can see if Rian has another one. Do you think we could ask Mira? Maybe she can go get it and bring it to us. It wouldn't be instant, obviously, but...
I can ask.
We should ask first if Rian has one, and then...
You should ask first if Rian has one, or can make you one.
Yeah.
Mira!
Felicity, hold on.
Okay!
Felicity just yelling into the void if Mira is there.
They open their mouth and they get the first syllable out, and then like 3 people shove their hands over their mouth. Like not yet.
No.
Hold on.
Hugo takes out his phone, dials the number, puts it on the ground, speakerphone on.
Ring, ring. Ring, ring. Ring, ring. Well, yeah, hi. What? Hugo?
Yep. And friends.
Oh my god.
Hey.
You gotta stop doing this to me, dude.
Nope, not gonna happen.
Wait, hold on. What time is it over there? Because it's like 10 here. So it's like 6 o'clock over there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it matters.
Rian is...
nocturnal.
No, I saw a post about this recently. He's like the new version of like male sex appeal, just like exhausted and sleep deprived. Just a complete mess.
Yep.
Great. Very good.
Yeah, he's like, what did you do now? How am I going to save the world?
At least he's aware.
Let's see. In this case, remember those necklaces you gave us?
Mm-hmm.
The protection charms?
Yep.
We may or may not be down one.
Okay. Well, are you coming over or like?
We have a...
Got an envoy.
Yeah, we have a delivery person.
Okay.
You will love her. Don't make any deals with her. You will love her, but don't make any deals with her. She's spoken for.
She's spoken for!
Hugo, roll manipulate someone.
Oh, shit.
Do. Da 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 da. Oh, that's definitely the wrong button. Hold on.
Natalie, is this guy a fuckboy? Is that what Hugo's rolling for? To try to convince him?
Yeah.
I thought this was established earlier.
Rian is a bit of a fuckboy, but that's not why he's rolling.
Well, we got a 6. It's a good thing we have all these people on a shared call.
Rian goes quiet on the line, and you almost think he like hung up on you, Hugo. But he says, Hugo, do not send a Fae to me.
Oh, shit.
Uh-oh.
We are out east. Pretty far.
She's very nice.
You can leave the necklace at a drop point and walk away from it. You never have to speak to her.
Whitaker, roll to help out.
Yeah, damn right.
Does Felicity also get a help out roll just by yelling, she's very nice?
No.
It's very convincing.
Oh, damn.
So it's a 13, and help out is an advanced roll for me, so that you can treat that as a full success, Hugo.
Oh,
Okay.
damn.
Whitaker coming in clutch.
Thank you, Whitaker.
Rianne says, fine, I'll drop it at the old cemetery by the gate.
Hey, remember, fear of the world means sacrifices.
Yeah, well, I want to hang on to my soul at the very least.
I trust you.
I'll have it ready in an hour.
All right.
He hangs up. Rianne, not a fan of the Fae.
It seems to be a common thing among Whispered.
Oh, I was going to say thank you.
She's very nice.
If you want to thank him, we'll send him a fruit basket.
All right, but hey, we might have another amulet. We might have an amulet in an hour.
Yeah.
Mira!
Wait, actually, hold on.
Slaps hands over Felicity's mouth again.
wait, hold on, Felicity.
Yes?
Do we want to call her now? Is that all right?
Didn't he say it'd be ready in an hour? Yeah, we should wait.
I am happy to call her here to tell her what she needs to do.
I am very happy to hang out with her for an hour.
Felicity, can I try something real quick?
What?
Hold on. Whitaker hangs back a bit and he puts his glasses on and he looks at the hand that shook Mira's.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything odd about it? Is the little symbols or magic still there?
No.
Are you wearing your glasses?
Oh yeah, I'm wearing the glasses.
There's nothing strange about your hand, Whitaker.
Just to test it, he is gonna look out, or he's keeping his eyes on his hand. He says, Mira?
You just hear in your mind, Agent Jones reporting in, sir.
Jesus Christ. All right, so you can just pop in here then.
Do you have a parcel?
We will have a parcel.
You feel a little breeze at your back, Whitaker, and Mira steps out from behind you in her little delivery person's uniform. Agent Jones, courier for Mr. Whitaker.
Agent Jones, so happy to see you. So happy to see you reporting in on such a timely manner. In 1 hour, there is going to be a parcel for you at the old cemetery in Autumn Falls.
Whitaker, 1 hour, 10 minutes.
Correction, let me rephrase that. In 1 hour and 10 minutes, you are to go to the old cemetery at Autumn Falls and pick up a parcel. You will bring it to us as quickly as possible, with no delays and no further interactions with anyone. Is that reasonable to you?
Yes, what I'm hearing is I have 1 hour and 10 minutes to hang out with my girlfriend.
Yes, hello.
Hello, darling.
I missed you.
I missed you. She cups your face as you come over. She says, oh, my dear, you smell awful. She snaps your fingers and suddenly whoosh, this green magic swirls around you and you're clean.
Does she just prestidigitation Felicity?
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
I'm clean.
It's true love right there.
Yep.
So we got 1 hour and 10 minutes. What do you want to do?
As you say that, Felicity, Aiden has still walked over to you, Damien, and she takes off the amulet and hands it to you. I'm not taking chances on this one, Damien.
Me either. And that's why I'm trying to do better. Thank you, Aiden.
You did fine. She gives you the amulet, and she spreads her wings like she's about to take off.
Where are you going?
Away from here.
No, hey, don't do that.
I'm gonna be the target now. I've got to get away from you all.
But only for,
1 hour and 8 minutes. And you will be back exactly then. And you will tell us if anything is wrong and you run into anything.
Aiden glances at you, Raven. Yeah, of course. Mira pipes up and she says, do you need to go somewhere?
Oh.
Don't, Mira, don't encourage this, please.
No.
Actually, yeah.
Felicity. Actually, Miss Jones, if you could help hide Aiden from this plane for a bit, that would be extremely helpful.
Agent Jones, courier of parcels, people, and everything in between. Happy to help. Wait, are we sure about this?
Mira?
Yes, Felicity.
I think Aiden would like it if you went to the garden.
All right, do you want to come?
No, I don't have to come.
Is there any reason that we couldn't just all go?
Well, I don't think all of us are allowed in.
I could take everyone, except for you. And she points at Damien.
Yeah.
No, you don't have to go through all the trouble. I can just go. Nonsense. It's no trouble at all. She pulls a little tin whistle out of her coat sleeve and starts to play a song. A shimmering Borealis appears in like the field that you all are standing in. Opens up, and you can see a version of this field, but more idyllic. It's more of a sunset twilight. Like you can see twinkling stars, but the sky isn't as dark. And there's a few trees where there aren't any here. And there's just this gateway now to a folk haven. Aiden looks stiff and hesitant as she looks into the haven, almost like she's holding her breath. Eventually, she exhales and takes a couple cautious steps towards the portal. It's just how I remember it. And she steps past the threshold and pauses just on the other side of it. Anybody gonna follow her?
I think we should let her have this.
Did Aiden have her headphones with her?
Probably not.
Gonna quickly run into the trailer, grab them, and then toss them in.
Aww.
Give me a line, Hugo, as you toss her some music.
Hey, try some jazz.
She catches them as she's now already inside the zone of the portal. She looks down at the headphones and the little music player, half smiles and looks up at you. Thanks, but I won't need it. And the door closes.
Oh, we're never gonna get her out of there. She's not gonna want to leave.
What do you do next?
Now Mom's gone. What do we do now?
Debrief with the other ones?
I guess we can go get the teens. I feel bad calling them kids.
Teen Squad.
Teen Squad, go talk to them.
Yeah.
Check in, make sure they're okay, and then also finally get to talk to them and get to know them a little bit. Did Mira go into the portal with Aiden? Is that the thing? Like, she has to go, or did she just let Aiden in?
Since Felicity didn't want to go, Mira is clinging to Felicity.
Okay. I just want to know how many people were in our group. Cool.
Oh, it's a shame that we lit the carnival on fire. Could have had a lovely little carnival date.
You know, there's this fantastic Ferris wheel.
Oh.
And I can just easily picture you two just sitting at the top of it.
It would be very cute.
Mira looks at you playfully, Felicity, and she says, "Would you like to?"
Sure.
She will take your hand, fingers intertwined, grasp it, and look over to you, Whitaker. 56 minutes.
56 minutes, and if we call, Felicity has to be brought back. Bring her back before midnight.
Aww.
Whitaker, I'm fine.
Mira just tips her little courier hat and her deer ears wiggle a little bit. And she says, "Please don't question my integrity, sir. I am a professional." And she takes a step and the two of you vanish.
Amazing.
I love her.
All right, so it's Damien, Raven, Hugo, and Whitaker going to speak to Teen Squad.
Teen Squad.
All right. I think you get a text, Raven, from Max that says heading home and then just an address.
Okay. She will respond, "It's cool if we come talk to you guys."
You see the typing 3 dots. It's typing like that for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And then just, "Yes, please."
Oh. Yep. All right.
Is this where the image with just the two hands and the fingers pointing at each other just going... Is that where that fits in?
Yeah, they're Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that emoji gets sent a little laughter.
Going on a little side trip. Probably not too far.
You type in the address and it's 15 minutes down the road. And you guys can unhitch the trailer, take the trailer with you, whatever. But you drive over and pull up to this farm. It's a tall farmhouse, 2 stories, and then an attic story as well with lights on, and a large barn and sort of a gravel drive that comes up, and some fences where there's maybe some sort of animals kept during the day in, and then just a lot of fields stretching out beyond. And as you kind of slowly pull up and the headlights are still shining on the address, you see Max comes down. They're not in the cloak anymore. They've just got a dark hoodie on. and they come jogging down the gravel driveway, and they say, "Hey, you can pull it in, and we're in the barn."
Sounds good.
And you see them slip into the barn that has this like big sliding door for like letting tractors and things in if you needed it to. But you park and you get out. There's like a barn cat that kind of scurries away. And when you get into the barn itself, you can see just a few work lights that are turned on, lighting certain areas. There's a table with a bunch of papers strewn about it. It looks to be like a folding plastic table with some chairs and like a laptop open on it with some other books and things around. And just this old-looking chest tucked under a workbench that has tools and things hanging above it with like peanut butter jars full of screws and nails and like washers and bolts and things for fixing both buildings and equipment here at the farm. The girl with the red in her hair and the vine tattoos is sitting on like a blanket that's been tossed over some loose hay and like reclining there on her phone. And the younger man with the padded armor is like taking that off and putting it onto a mannequin in the corner. Max stands up and comes over to welcome you as you come in. Hi. So this is our spot.
Awesome.
It's not much. We have some chairs. Hang on. And they run and go get some to like hand off to you.
This is so cool. What the fuck?
Was that Whitaker or Emery?
That was Whitaker.
Yes.
It's so roomy here.
Whitaker's never been on a farm before.
Whitaker's never had a cool, fun farm hideout before.
Yeah, this is cool.
This is great. All these kids, they got their own little spot. That's so cute. I love it.
There's like a hayloft and things with some like Christmas lights, strung up. So it's like cozy-ish.
Oh my God.
Oh, she's simply adorable.
Yeah, we're all looking around like, wow, nice.
Whitaker, do you still have the glasses on?
Yeah.
Okay. You see movement scurrying in the rafters, and then this little white shape darts down and just sort of almost spectrally floats in the air and glides over to land on Max's shoulder. Turns and looks back at you with these glowing white eyes, and it's that little ermine creature.
Yeah. Okay, so he does the little like, glasses on, glasses off. It is fully a spirit.
Yes.
All right.
Max brings some chairs over, sits them out for you. They take a seat at their laptop, fold it closed, and then sit there nervously, like tapping their fingers on the top of it, like, so, we found Cassie. That was good.
We did.
You guys were awesome.
You guys are awesome.
Are any of you hurt? Are you all okay?
The girl with the vine tattoos, you maybe notice her like reach for her wrist a little bit, but she doesn't say anything. She's just kind of eyeing you all. There's sort of a rough like tightening of a belt buckle on the mannequin as the young man gruffly adjusts something and then turns to, looks almost like he's going to leave.
I've got a first aid kit in the truck. I'll be right back.
Hey, Mr. Football Pads, looks like a nice getup you got there, but I think you could use some with a little bit more kick. And Damien sort of reaches, holding out in his hand is a handgun.
Whoa. What? You must be so happy that Whitaker turned around to go to the truck because you are offering a child a gun.
Damien, no. Mm-mm.
I mean, if you think he's fine in football pads, then...
Please put that away.
I can put this away. Sorry about that.
Thank you.
Well, because he's trying to use football pads in a big, serious situation, and I was trying to offer a more effective tool.
The best defense is a good offense.
Thank you.
That's not the best offense.
Oh.
Raven's going to interrupt that conversation to be like, hey, so we didn't formally meet. So I'm Raven. This is Damien, Agent Whitaker, and Hugo. And she'll kind of look at them like, now your turn, please.
The girl who's on her phone gives you like a half-hearted wave. She says, I'm Mackenzie? Ken's? Yeah, thanks for your help finding Cassie. That's been stressful.
Thanks for your help. I saw you out there. You can do healing magic?
Yeah, a bit.
It was really good. You guys honestly came in clutch out there. We're not doing so good right off the bat.
The boy brushes past you, Damien. He doesn't even glance at the handgun. He just is like, eyes forward. And Max stands up and calls after him. Buck, don't leave. They could help us. And he whips around. They shouldn't even know about us, Max. She cringes and like shrinks back a little bit sheepishly. And she says, I'm sorry. We needed help. I didn't know. Buck turns and looks at all you. And he just says, name's Buck. Who the hell are y'all?
We're a group just like you. We're kind of in the same situation. Some of us kind of fell into this and learned about magic, and we're just doing our best to protect people.
Ken's stands up, picks some of the straw out of her hair, puts her phone away, and says, I think what he means is, how do you know Max? And she shoots a look over at Piper.
Raven's gonna also look at Max. These are her friends. She can explain.
Yep.
We're very good at what we do and at investigating these types of things. Anyone with an internet connection is a valid target for our investigations, and no amount of internet security or firewalls or VPN are going to get into our way. I apologize for this, but we are trying to help.
Damien, shut up.
Max just says, and she points at you, Raven.
Mm-hmm.
She says, That's the Watcher, that from the blog. You know, I get advice from there sometimes. I don't know, it's a resource.
Raven, like, gives an awkward wave.
Ken's looks back at you, Raven, gives, like, a nod of acknowledgement, but not approval.
That's fair.
Buck kicks an old can, or maybe it's like an empty gas can for one of the tractors or whatever. Christ! You're writing about this shit? Like it's some status to post on your social media? What the fuck, Piper?
Hey, it's not like that. It's full of other people just like you, all looking for advice. It's all anonymous. It's fine. You guys needed help, and we came to help, and that's what that place is for.
We shouldn't be the ones helping. It's not our job. This whole mess we're in is because we had to go poking where our noses didn't belong. He just like turns on his heel and storms out of the barn.
Do I want to do something stupid?
You are the one with the tattoos, my man.
Hugo hasn't noticed that part yet.
Go ahead and roll sharp. See if you notice it.
Nope, that's a 5.
Oh.
Okay, you don't notice it.
But what he is going to do... So is he already out the door, essentially?
Yeah, he like stepped out of the barn. Just to like get outside.
Can I do a thing as he's stepping out?
If you want.
I would like to put a wall of ice in front of him.
Dramatic. I like it.
Ooh, dramatic. I'm okay with this. Go ahead. I guess you're trapping a person?
Yeah, I guess in that case, that's what... Yep. Life choices. With an 11.
He screams at Max, goes to leave, and smacks into an ice wall, which is like extending from your foot across the ground and then like, you know, forms between the little gap that there was between the sliding barn door and the frame of the opening. Ah, come on. Just like rubs his face and his shoulder where he knocked into it.
You don't just walk away after something like this. You sit and you talk.
Max kind of has slumped into their chair and isn't looking at anybody now, but is like staring into their hands where they've got their like thumbs moving in circles. I'm sorry, Buck. I didn't know what else to do. I was running out of ideas.
I don't know if Hugo notices this, but when Hugo specifically says, you sit and you talk this out, Whitaker gives Hugo just like the briefest dark look.
Hugo notices nothing.
Nice.
Okay. Well, what do you ask them? There's now like an awkward silence as these teens are kind of in the middle of an argument. So I'll leave it to you adults to mediate, but also like move the conversation along.
Well, in classic fashion, Hugo's going to just lie on the ground.
What?
This is Hugo's negotiating pose. It's just horizontal.
Do you actually?
Yeah.
Ken's like looks at you and is like, we've got chairs.
Nope. So what's your story?
Were you going to ask anything different, Whitaker, or?
Whitaker was gonna break some of the tension by offering to patch up Ken's arm.
Oh, sure. Yeah, you can do that. You know, there's supposed to be a role for first aid.
There is a role for first aid. I have it. I have medic as a thing that I can do.
Incredible.
That I never do anymore because of all of you.
Yeah, why don't you do that? Because knowing how roles have been going lately, if someone tries to heal Ken's, they'll just take some harm and it will be completely...
Yeah, you know what's fun about like medic stuff? You don't hurt yourself when you're putting a band-aid on someone. At worst, you just fuck them up a little bit, which is embarrassing, but fine.
Yeah.
It's an 8. On a 7 to 9, oh, easy enough. On a 7 to 9, choose one. Heal 2 harm or stabilize the injury. I'm just going to heal 2 harm.
Great. Yeah, you notice that, like, it's not even that she is cut or has, like, a broken bone or anything, but, like, she's just saying, like, oh, yeah, my wrist is bothering me ever since doing a lot of magic tonight. So you give her, like, a splint, basically, so that it's, like, under pressure and not able to move as much and give the muscles a chance to rest. But as you are wrapping her arm, Whitaker, Hugo, your eyes just drift to the thing happening in the room. And you see on Ken's, the back of her wrist, the whispered tattoo, which continues up her forearm in the shape of these thorny vines.
And he lets out the greatest sigh.
Hugo, is something you'd like to share with the class?
For me to share, no. For them to share, possibly. And then at the same time, he's also just going to put up his hand and just lying on the ground, fist raised in the air.
Max sits up when she notices your tattoo, Hugo, and she says, "No way."
Raven's not lying. We've got a lot in common.
Where'd you get that?
Met some people out west. Made some choices. You?
So you, like, got it on purpose?
That's one way to put it. Yeah. On purpose.
Ken's glances at Max, then over to you, Hugo. She says, so there are more people like us with these. Gestures at the tattoo.
There's a lot more.
Oh, yeah. Good or bad, depending on who you ask.
This is all part of something much larger than all of us, and we really have to stick together and learn from each other as much as we can.
Hugo, have you heard of anyone getting a tattoo by accident? It looked like such an organized situation that you had set up.
Well, these are rites that come from places well beyond us, so I haven't heard of it personally, but I'm not too surprised.
We never actually asked about the nitty-gritty of you getting a tattoo. Was it like getting a tattoo, or did it just appear because of, magic?
That's a good question. I don't know what I'm actually allowed to answer in this case.
Hugo, it's your backstory.
So, the initial tattoo was small, started with a ritual. It wasn't so much regular tattooing as it was more, for lack of a better term, scarification. It healed up, took on its own shape, and then, over time, the more stuff you do, the more it progresses.
Hugo, you hear Ken's whisper under her breath, and I suppose Whitaker, you're right up on her, so you hear this too. That's what's happening.
Been doing a lot, huh?
You see, she rubs at the back of her neck a little bit.
Oh, so it's far.
Yeah, I mean, Whitaker, you're wrapping her arm. The vines stretch all the way up and into her sleeve.
Hugo, what happens when it covers all of you?
You don't let it get to that point.
So before we leave here, Hugo, you are going to tell these 3 everything you know about keeping those tattoos in check, all right?
Yeah, everything I know about keeping the tattoos in check, sure.
Hugo, you're all they got right now.
I will explain everything I can, but it's not that simple a process.
Every time we fight something, it feels like one of ours gets a little bigger. This is Max talking. There's just been a lot going on lately around here. Ever since we found the chest. And Buck kind of grinds his teeth like he was hoping they wouldn't bring it up. But you can all see this old-looking chest under the workbench.
Tell us about the chest. Where'd you find it?
Yeah, no,
I can roll to manipulate.
No, it's not even a manipulate thing. It was maybe going to be an investigative mystery roll, but I think you guys are allies enough that they'll just share some of their backstory with you. For purposes of having it go relatively quickly, Max explains that about a year and a half ago, she was at an auction, like an antique dealer's hall with her grandpa, who she lives with, and, was bored, found this old-looking chest with some books and wrapped up papers with it. It had very interesting markings on the top of it. And, in the telling of the story, you can pull out the chest and examine it, and there is this, crow emblem on the top of this chest in, a bronze relief, and other runic marks with which, Hugo, you look at and recognize some of the markings of the Whispered on this chest. She explains how she took $20 that she was supposed to spend on something else, bought the chest instead, told her grandpa that the thing he sent her to buy was already sold by somebody else, and then just hid the chest in the back of the pickup and brought it home. I had her best friend Mackenzie come over because they were both into magic and the occult and stuff like that, to look at this cool old box that she found and see what they could do with it. She in the story mentions another friend of hers named Izzy, who also was involved in the opening of this chest. How one night they had been trying to crack this puzzle lock, and that right around when Buck was coming to pick Izzy up, because they're related, brother and sister, Ken's hit the lock and the chest flung open, and this light from within sort of hit them all in different parts. It got Max on their bicep area. Buck had just opened the door to the barn, so it got him right in the chest. Ken's was fiddling with the lock. It hit her in the wrist. With Izzy, it got them in the lower leg because they were sitting up in the loft. These tattoos appeared, and there was equipment in the chest. There was this dagger, which when Max drew it, it covered them in shadow, and they heard this voice talking to them about carry the torch. The job is not done. And that's how their dark cloak sort of formed for the first time. Talks about how there were potions and ingredients and things inside the chest, and Mackenzie would experiment with them after school for about a month or so, and eventually started to learn how to use the spells, and the thorns of her tattoo started to grow and expand. And how right around this time that they opened the chest and discovered this magic, something weird started happening in the fields around town, where they eventually wound up fighting this haunted scarecrow. And a few more monsters every couple of months. Something would pop up and they would have to deal with it. Max wraps the story quietly as they're petting the little ermine, whose name you learn is Flurry. It's been real tough.
You guys have done an amazing job.
Yeah, you've done exceptionally well. That's a lot to put on a teenager. I'm sorry you had to deal with that. And I'm sorry you're gonna have to keep dealing with that.
Yeah, I guess there's not really an end in sight. They kind of adjust their bangs a little.
The monster we were fighting, why did it call you the Morrigan?
I think that's who the chest belonged to, best we can tell. They reach across the table and take the dagger. As soon as they draw it from its sheath, shadow just pours out of the scabbard and wreathes Max in that dark feathered cloak with the hood pulled up. And they kind of look at you from under the hood and shrug, and then put it back in the scabbard, and the cloak vanishes.
God, that is so cool, though.
It is very fucking cool.
Oh, it's so cool. Oh my god, we're all playing it super chill, oh yeah, whatever. But that's so cool. Oh my god, that's so cool.
Damn, I wish I got a cool magic dagger when I got pulled into this shit.
No, you don't.
Whitaker needs a t-shirt. Got pulled into the magic world, and all I got was this dumb t-shirt, and it has a printed on tie.
All I got was this incredibly wealthy secret agency behind me.
I didn't get that at first.
And several years off my life.
Yeah. We had to work for that one.
That's true.
I'm trying to think of something we can leave these kids with. If we like enchant their stuff, it's not going to last. I want to save these children. They're so good.
Raven, we can leave them with some knowledge of what the hell's going on.
I know.
Whitaker, when you say you're going to have to keep dealing with it, Buck, who's been like eyeing the door, waiting for the ice to melt, just says, what about you folks? Shouldn't you be like handling this? I mean, we're just kids.
We're trying to.
I thought we did handle it.
Some of us are still kind of new at this.
Well, where have you been? Because clearly you didn't help handle the other things we told you about.
There's a lot more going on than just that stuff.
There's stuff like that happening all over this country and all over the world. We're doing our best. We're dealing with a lot from back home, and we've kind of been on an impromptu road trip of sorts. And we honestly just got incredibly lucky that we were passing through here at the same time that you guys needed help.
Fat lot of good it's going to do when y'all leave town. Guess we'll just have to deal with the next thing ourselves. And he turns and, like, he can't leave because the door's still iced up, but he'll climb up into the loft and sit away from you all. Ken's looks up at him sadly and just says, Buck's had a rough time of it ever since we lost Izzy. You see Max is a little misty-eyed once that name's brought up again.
You guys have been through so much. I want to make sure that before we leave, we leave you with as much knowledge and as much help as we possibly can.
It'd be nice to get some instruction.
Yeah, you've been doing this completely on your own. You were, like, tossed into this. We've got to help. Maybe we can put you in contact with some of the other Whispered? See if there's anyone else around here that could maybe, I don't know, come train you guys a little bit? Give you some kind of guidance more than we can? We can't stay here long.
Hugo's going to stand up, get rid of the ice, go to the trailer, dig through his stuff, grab a very large tome, and come back to the barn with it, and then plop it on the table.
Okay.
Look, you lost someone. I'm not going to be a dick about this, but it happens. Saving the world doesn't care about how old you are. You can't say, we're just kids, and expect that to cover everything. That's how accidents happen. That's how lives are lost. So you're going to train properly.
Max nods solemnly, but she looks at you, Hugo, with this determination. And for the second time since you've, like, known and observed and interacted with her, that, like, unsteadiness is momentarily gone. Mackenzie walks over to the book, runs a hand over it with, like, her dark fingernail polish, and just, like, inhales sharply at, like, this massive amount of knowledge now within her fingertips. She says, "Oh, I'm ready to learn." Buck? And he just calls from the loft. The hell else are we gonna do? Max stands up, and a little ermine on her shoulder squeaks. And she just says, "Show us what you can." Felicity, you and Mira go to the Ferris wheel. You appear in the top car seat. I don't know what to call them. What are they called?
I don't know.
The things on a Ferris wheel. Anyway, you appear in the top one, overlooking the now, like, smoking and, like, emergency vehicle illuminated fairgrounds.
Romantic.
Yeah, it's a little cooler up here in the night sky, even though it's, you know, a summer evening. And she just sort of stretches back and leans into the seat and says, "Ah, how are you?"
That's a loaded question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Never mind. You tell me whatever you want to, or we can just sit here quietly.
How are you?
I'm good. It's interesting having 2 jobs. Well, 3 if you count all the housework I do for Granny. I'm fine. I mean, life goes on, yeah?
For some of us, I guess.
She twirls a finger in one of your curls. What's on your mind?
I don't know. It's just... So we came here to help these kids. They're kids. They're kids. And now they're all roped into this.
Do you feel sorry for them?
Yes. I feel sorry. I feel like I should have known this was gonna happen.
Your group does seem to attract a lot of exciting events. I'm trying to be polite. They're bad. You attract a lot of bad things, my dear.
Yeah, no, we really do. We really do.
Yeah. I'm so sorry about that. I wish there was something I could do.
Is there something you could do?
Your friend Damien really complicates things, because normally I would just destroy him, and then problem solved. But we can't really do that now, can we?
No, he's a good guy. Despite, the whole demon thing.
Right. You've said that before. I'll be honest, I'm yet to be convinced, but I believe you.
He's helped me a number of times. I think we owe him as much to not destroy him, if that makes sense to you.
I mean, I guess we're still waiting to find out the final tally, Like, if you've put out way more effort for him than he's done for you, but, he could surprise you.
I did give him a bit of my life force. Did I ever tell you about that?
I'm aware. Yeah, it's like the whole reason you can't just hang out in Autumn Falls with me and Granny.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
But hey, you're seeing the world. I guess that's a benefit, I suppose.
If the world is a small town county fair, then yes.
It's all the world, Felicity.
I'd like to see it more with you, though. If you want to.
Yeah, I'd be delighted.
Then come travel with me.
Oh, like on this journey?
Yeah.
Well,
it's something different. It's something you've never done before.
Well, that's not necessarily true. I have traveled before. And I have to look after Granny, I mean, then she would be all alone.
Well, you can bounce back to her, like you do for me.
Yes, I suppose so. I'll have to think about it. I mean, I don't like danger. I don't like that you're in danger so often, but also I don't like myself being in danger. That's stressful.
If you're here, I feel like we'd be in danger a little less often.
I don't know about that. And her eyes kind of twinkle with this green gold sparkle in them. But still, I get the sense that it's not really the dangers that's bothering you. Something else is weighing on your heart.
You're not wrong.
The Felicity I know loves a good adventure. So what's really getting to you?
I killed people, Mira. I did it with my magic, and I stopped doing magic for a while. I cut all my hair off, which is a thing.
I think it looks cute.
Oh, thank you. But that's besides the point. Mira, I killed people. And I don't know. I've started doing magic again. I've started doing things, even if it's against my own will. It just happens. Sometimes it just happens. It just happens and magic is done. And I don't know how I feel about it.
Magic is an unpredictable thing. It's hard to control it when there's so much of it. And you have so much of it, Felicity.
What do I do?
Well, you are not the first person to have killed another person. In that regard, that's not really that remarkable. I understand it can be upsetting, but I mean, I could tell you about the days of wizards and sorceresses and all that. It was carnage all the time. It was terrible. But, you're living a very extraordinary life. And I think being in the position you're in, it's not unreasonable to expect that these things might happen. And, I mean, you've kept your friends alive, haven't you?
Well, it seems like every time I try to keep my friends alive, I hurt them. It's like every single time. It happened with Aiden. It happened with Ray. I don't know what to do. It's like magic comes to me, like it wants me to use it, and then it's not for me.
When your friends were hurting, would you say your heart was completely focused?
I would like to think so.
Maybe you're overthinking it. Let's try something, shall we? And she pulls a little pocket knife out and just like cuts a couple of her fingers with it.
Mira, what the heck? What are you doing?
And she takes your hand, and then with her other hand, she leans in and kisses you. Roll use magic, Felicity.
Okay.
In fact, roll your lay on hands ability is actually what I want you to do here.
That's bad. That's a different stat altogether.
I know.
Go the distance.
That's a straight up 10.
That's the power of love.
Beautiful.
Heck yeah. You feel that warm magic in your hand that is clutching hers. It flows this time without any of the like hesitation or like trepidation that you've felt every other time when you're like, oh God, I gotta heal them. Because as much as like your intent has always been, I'm gonna heal them, it's always been in these like panicky moments of, if I don't heal them, it's gonna be so bad, you know what I mean? Whereas in this moment, you're a little distracted. I mean, she's kissing you, that's nice. And you just let the magic do what it wants to do, and it flows through you like a stream. And for a moment, you almost hear the birds and the sounds of what the haven sounds like. And she pulls away, looks at her fingers, which are completely healed. I think you've got it in you.
That makes one of us, I guess.
You've got to believe in yourself, my dear.
It's hard to when I failed every other time.
How else are you supposed to learn? She folds her hands in your lap and sort of leans against you in like a cuddly sort of way. And she just looks up at the sky and she says, I've been around for a long time, and I make mistakes, but that's just part of life, Felicity. You mess up, try to do better, eventually you do. I know you're concerned that you might not be normal.
I'm not normal, Mira.
Well, that part of you is normal. And everything else, I think it's extraordinary.
Can we go to the garden tonight?
If you'd like to.
I just want a little time away.
She'll pull out the flute, start playing her little song on it, and the two of you vanish from the top of the Ferris wheel. We leave the Winnebago County Fair and the barn at the Maxwell farm and return to a familiar blasted landscape. Azazel, Asmodeus, and Leviathan are sitting on the shore of Leviathan's still bit of landlocked ocean. And they seem to simply be waiting for something. Footsteps in the sand approach, and a hunched, bent, broken figure approaches. Beelzebub reaches the group and drives their twisted staff into the sand, and then makes an apologetic gesture with multiple sets of hands. Azazel tips her half-fox mask up. What do you want? I thought you were busy. And a voice from the dark, hooded figure.
Our sister just helped to destroy one of my finest creations, along with my sworn nemesis.
Well, that's what she does. I thought you didn't give a shit about her anymore.
My work is precious to me when it is destroyed.
And they wring their hands, and this dark aura flares around them, causing the many tattered bits of fabric wrapping their form to flutter before settling down again.
If you were still interested in an alliance, you have my attention.
Azazel grins and shoots a smug, satisfied look over at Asmodeus, who begins a sarcastic slow clap. And Azazel turns back to BLs and says, "So, what have you made lately?"
Well, I did just finish something truly awful.
And that is where we'll end our session.
I'm sure this will be fine. This will be absolutely fine. What could go wrong?
Everything's fine.
Hey, I really like that scene with Felicity and Mira. I thought that was a really nice scene.
That was very cute.
Yeah, that was really cool.
That was really nice.
Mm-hmm.
That was so cute.
So cute.